13 Dead End Drive is a murder-themed board game from Milton Bradley. Released in 1993, it was followed in 2002 by a sequel, 13 Dead End Drive. The story behind the game involves the death of a wealthy old woman, triggering a feud over her will. The players utilize traps located on the game board, which represents a mansion, to kill characters controlled by other players in order to claim the estate for themselves. Gameplay. At the start of gameplay, players are dealt character cards, which correspond to matching pawns on the board. Since there are 12 characters, it is often the case that players control more than one character. However, which player controls which character is not revealed. Along with the character cards, there are also portrait cards, which determine who the current favorite for the inheritance is, and trap cards, which are used to spring traps and knock off other players. During each turn, a player rolls 2 dice and moves 2 pawns, 1 pawn for each die. It is legal for players to move a pawn that is not theirs in order to bring it closer to or onto a trap space. All pawns must be moved off the red chair spaces before any pawns can be moved a second time or onto a trap space. If a pawn is moved onto a trap space by exact roll only, the player must have the corresponding trap card in his or her possession in order to spring the trap. Springing traps is not mandatory, however. After that, play proceeds on to the next player. A pawn cannot pass through or land on the same space as another pawn during the same turn. During the game, a portrait card is displayed in the picture frame above the fireplace. That character is now the current favorite to inherit the fortune. At that moment, for all intents and purposes, that character is now marked for death and must try to escape the mansion before he or she is either knocked off or the portrait changes. Also, during the game, a detective is waiting outside, slowly advancing toward the front door. His arrival signifies the reading of the will and the announcement of the winner. The detective can only move 1 space at a time, and only when a detective card is drawn. There are 13 steps to the front door. If the detective makes it to the front door before all other characters have been eliminated, the game is over. Ways to win. There are 3 ways to win 13 Dead End Drive. Be the last character alive. Escape the mansion while your character's picture is displayed in the picture frame. Have your character's picture displayed in the picture frame when the detective reaches the front door. Traps. 13 Dead End Drive has 5 different booby traps that are used to dispose of other characters. In the story of the game, the traps are designed to make deaths appear accidental. The traps are the chandelier, the bookcase, the stairs, a statue in a suit of armor, and the fireplace. If a pawn has the misfortune to land on the trap space in front of or under one of these traps, the trap card is played and the trap is sprung in the following ways. To activate the chandelier, flip a switch that drops the chandelier onto the pawn, eliminating it from play. To activate the bookcase, move that pawn up onto the top of the ladder and rest that pawn on top of the bookcase, and flip a switch that will send the pawn flying back onto the board and eliminating it from play. In order to activate the stairs, a player can move it up onto the top of the stairs and flip a switch that will violently toss the pawn back down the stairs and onto the board, resulting in its elimination. To activate the statue, a player can flip a switch that will send a statue in a full suit of armor crashing down onto the pawn. The fireplace is activated when a player flips a switch that will send the pawn flying backwards and into the figurative fire, though the box describes it as a trapdoor. When a player moves a pawn onto a trap space, they must draw a card from the trap card pile. If the player draws the matching trap card, they can either play it immediately, or hold the card for future use. If the player does not have the matching trap card, the trap cannot be sprung, but the card can be saved for future use. There are also wild trap cards which permit all traps to be used anytime a pawn is in that space. If, however, the player draws a detective card, the detective is moved 1 space forward, but the player is permitted to draw another trap card before ending the turn. Once a trap is sprung, that pawn and the matching character card are laid down on the discard pile on the board. If, during the course of play, a portrait card comes up for a character that has been knocked off, that card is immediately taken down and placed on the discard pile, revealing a new portrait. The portrait cards are shuffled at the beginning of gameplay and concealed by an Aunt Agatha portrait card to hide the known deck order. Characters: Aunt Agatha, the dowager heiress whose fortune everyone is competing for. The detective gradually gets closer to the mansion with every detective card. When he enters the front door, the game is over. The players take the roles of the 12 suspects who compete for the will. They're Poopsie, Aunt Agatha's beloved but sadistic Persian cat, who will become one of the world's richest pets if she inherits. Beauregard 3, Agatha's flirtatious lover, who has made a trade of swindling recently widowed women, Aunt Agatha being his greatest conquest. Smothers, the butler who served Agatha's family for over 30 years, who seeks to retire in style, cruising the world and having people wait on him for a change. Dusty, the conniving and seductive maid, who would use the money to be a glamour model and be dripping in jewelry. Charity, Agatha's personal physician who only makes mansion calls, seeking to use the money to open her own exclusive practice. Lulu, Agatha's gossip of a best friend, who seeks to start a supermarket gossip tabloid called Dishing the Dirt. Parker, the chauffeur, who would use the money to race in the Indianapolis 500. Clay, Agatha's tennis coach, and also round tennis star who sees the money as a chance to repay old debts and retire nicely. Spritzy, Agatha's favorite hairstylist, who seeks to finance her own exquisite hair salon to the stars. Pierre, the inept chef, who seeks to finance his own TV show, Cooking for Profit. Madame Astra, Agatha's personal fortune teller, who believes her years of service will finally pay off in getting the money. Hickory, the mansion's gardener, who would use the money to fulfill his dream of starting a theme park based on killer plants. Special spaces and rules: rolling doubles. If a player rolls doubles, that player chooses whether or not to move the current portrait card to the back of the pack to reveal new portrait. The player then has the choice of moving one pawn, the total number of spaces shown on the dice, or moving 2 pawns, 1 pawn for each die. Secret passages. On the board are special spaces that represent secret passages. Any character can enter any secret passage at any time, regardless of whether or not it is by exact roll. Moving from one secret passage to another counts as 1 space move for a character. Secret passages are often used to bring opponents' pawns closer to traps or to bring your own pawn closer to the door. Bluffing. Bluffing is permitted in 13 Dead End Drive. In terms of strategy, a player may move their own pieces towards or even onto trap spaces in an attempt to fool opponents. Even if that player has the matching trap card for the space their own character is on, they do not have to play it. Instead, they can pretend that they do not have the correct card and draw another one. If they happen to draw the right trap card, they can pretend that the card is the wrong one, and play continues as normal. 2-player gameplay. In case of a 2-player game, 4 character cards are dealt to each player, as well as 2 additional secret cards. These cards must be kept face down throughout the entire game. Their owners are not allowed to peek at them, or even know which character they correspond to. Gameplay continues as normal, even if one player loses all 4 known character cards until one of the above win scenarios occurs. In the case that neither player has the winning character in their known hand, they are permitted to look at the unknown cards. The player with the card that matches the winning character is declared the victor. International versions. Danish, Tanti Agatha's Testamenta. Finnish, Kalming Kuja 13. French, La Corse-l'Héritage. German, Agatha's Letzter Will. Hungarian, Jakuchev 13. Italian, La Ride Misterioso. Dutch, Ongelukslaan 13. Spanish, La Herencia de Tierra Gata, Swedish, Fasta Agatha's Testamenta, Greek, Kappa Lambda Eta Rho Omicron Nu Omicron Mu Omega Nu 13, Quebecois 13 Rue Dead End Drive, spin-offs, 1313 Dead End Drive 1313 Dead End Drive is an updated version with 16 heirs in a mansion who are going to kill each other. The players can steal money bags by killing rivals. There are slightly different booby traps, such as the chandelier being replaced by a large boar head, the bookcase being replaced by a safe that releases a big steel piggy bank that slams into the heir's face, and instead of falling into the fire, you're spun into it. The game can be suddenly over if the card, "Clock Strikes Midnight," is drawn from the deck.